Johnny Odermatt. Has anyone ever called you Johnny till now?
Yeah, you used to call me Johnny O back in the day.
Back when I used to plant apple seeds in the farm, I used to tour the country planting them apple seeds.
Is that what I sound like?
Yeah.
La 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 la.
Welcome to the Lions of Liberty podcast. Here is your host, your guide, your shining beacon of liberty, Marc Clair.
And welcome on back, folks. If you can believe it, this is the 169th episode. You can, of course, find the show notes over at lionsofliberty.com/169. And if you enjoy this program, one way that you can help us out during this holiday season is by shopping through our Amazon affiliate link. This costs you nothing extra to do. Simply click on and bookmark our link at lionsofliberty.com/Amazon. We really appreciate the help, guys. And this is no ordinary episode, because this is, yes, finally, after a year of waiting, we are doing our Naughty or Nice holiday special. Ho ho, mother effin' ho. That mother effin' will probably be an actual curse a little later in the show once I've had a little bit to drink. But this is a holiday cheerful time where we are going to share some drinks, share some laughs, and share some liberty analysis with some fellow Lions of Liberty. Starting, of course, with the venerable, I don't even know what that word means, Brian McWilliams to my left. Brian, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I've got silver bells running through my head. I asked Santa to bring me a better podcast this Christmas, so we'll see if that works out in the new year.
A better podcast than the one you're already on?
Yeah, pretty much.
How could that? I thought we had already achieved podcast perfection.
No, I don't know about that. The way I've been looking at it is we've got a lot of improvements to make here. So I'm hoping Santa can put that under the tree. I think our crowd is going to be with me all the way.
I mean, I could use an actual audio studio instead of what I call the Lions of Liberty Studios.
Instead of me cuddled next to your shoulder as I am breathing my hot whiskey breath on your neck.
I don't mind the hot whiskey breath. Well, that brings me to my first question, and that is, what are you drinking? And it's the same thing I'm drinking, so I don't have to answer.
That's right, because I brought it. We're drinking a 1.75 liter of Bullet Rye bourbon.
All right, and
we'll see if we make it through the whole thing.
We are chugging that here in the Lions of Liberty Studios because that is how we celebrate holidays in Los Angeles. Let's find out how libertarians across the country celebrate, and we will start with, which one should I start with? This is so exciting. What do I unwrap first? Why don't I start with John Odermatt in Pittsburgh, since you are a founding member of the Lions of Liberty officially. So we'll start with Odie.
What's up, man? I got to say, this is probably my favorite podcast of the year. The Naughty or Nice podcast.
Well, it's good to hear a positive remark after Brian just told us that this show's terrible and that needs massive improvements that only a demigod can deliver to us.
That's right, man. Hey, did you ever think about that, though? How close, like, Santa Claus... Christians are all mad about something like Santa Claus not being in, or too much Santa Claus being in Christmas and not enough Christ. But hey, man, pick your demigod better. Santa Claus is much cooler. Why would you not go for Santa Claus?
I like the Ben Carson version of Jesus.
He's magic. You don't go to hell if you're not good. You just get some coal in your stocking.
Yeah, that's not too bad a punishment.
That's the God for me.
Charles Manson's like, coal again? Oh, well, I'll just eat it.
Gonna keep killing people.
I guess this is the only punishment I get, so cool. All right.
Is there a Ben Carson version of Santa Claus, like a Ben Carson version of Jesus?
If there's not, and
if
we have good listeners, there will be by the time this airs.
I hope
not by the time it airs. Maybe like an hour after it airs. How long does Photoshop take? I don't know. I mean, Brian could probably whip this up.
If I brought my laptop, it won't work.
I have Photoshop on my computer. You could actually design a Photoshop live on the air. But first, I have some more hosting to do.
Wait.
I'm not done. I'm going to ask you. I know you want to tell everybody. Odie.
A little antsy.
What are you drinking? And hopefully you didn't mix it up with the baby bottle that you were just holding.
Yeah, actually, that could happen. Because
you make a White Russian and you mix that up. Oh, boy. Baby's going to have fun. You're going to be disappointed.
They're kind of close. So
are you drinking eggnog with rum or whiskey or both? Or brandy? Or brandy?
With whiskey, with Jim Beam, with bourbon.
Nice.
So the old-fashioned way, I guess. I don't know.
As our forefathers did.
I almost got us a gallon jug at Costco. Costco plug. We'd love your sponsorship. I almost got us a gallon of eggnog at Costco.
Welcome to the Lions of Liberty podcast, brought to you by Costco. Save money. Okay. Who else do we have here? What libertarian can we unwrap next? Why don't I go with Howie Snowden in Leesburg, Virginia?
Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I feel like I talk to you every day now. Always record, and we're always recording it.
You guys were just talking about those on the naughty list getting the coal from Santa.
Mm-hmm.
President Obama just passed an executive order trying to cut down the carbon footprint. That's not happening this year. No coal.
Oh, sorry. Oh, no. Global warming hysteria is affecting Santa Claus. He has to give them wind now.
That's awful.
It's just you just open a stocking and it's really windy.
On the good news, Santa will get a massive government subsidy, and then he'll go bankrupt.
There we go. There we go. All right. It's good stuff. I feel like we're firing all cylinders right now.
Just wait till we get drunker.
So, Howie, what are you drinking over there?
I am drinking a Blanton's bourbon, which I highly recommend. And if they would like me to be their sponsor, they just need to send me a bottle every podcast.
Like you to be their sponsor? Not even Lions of Liberty. Like specifically Howie Snowden endorses this.
That's right.
All right.
You can be their Duff man.
Just go around us all together.
No.
Son of a bitch, making his own deals already. All right, and finally, maybe we can have our lawyer review this. And speaking of which, let's bring him on in. Our official legal counsel, the mysterious Rico.
What's up, jerks?
All right.
Always comes in strong with the holiday cheer.
He really does come in strong.
Howie stole my fossil fuel joke for Santa.
You had that prepared?
I did.
Oh, man.
Damn it.
That's a good one.
You guys are like Abbott and Costello, and now he's stabbing you in the back. He's going to go solo.
Only introduced me first.
How many people do you think understood that reference?
I don't know, 4
on our podcast.
Probably not even the people on this podcast.
0.
Yeah, I don't. Really
I mean, I've heard of Abbott and Costello.
Hey, some of our older listeners, please do later tweet at the
My dad is rolling on his sides right now.
Good.
So I will tell you what I'm drinking since you never asked me. I'm drinking
why is everyone so antsy to get their drink out? Like I would have asked eventually. We thought we might have a little light chat first.
Is it Night Train? Is it Wild Irish Rose?
No, it is apple pie moonshine. I brewed during the last GOP debate.
You made it yourself?
Yes.
No, you did not.
It's not real moonshine.
On Family Feud, when they ask, what were you doing during the last GOP debate? Making apple pie moonshine. It typically does not come up, but it should.
That's what I did.
Show me making apple pie moonshine. Ding. Okay.
Yes,
so, did I forget anyone? We got a pretty big crew tonight. This is the whole core, right?
This is it.
All right. First, we're going to start off drinking for Lions of Liberty Lost, because this year... Yep. I'm just kidding. Nobody's died. We just, a few people kind of have fallen off the wayside. Hopefully they're listening, and hopefully they'll know who they are, and hopefully they'll say, "Don't worry, guys, we're here, and we still love liberty." Yeah. So this will be the test. And now I think it's time to get into the business, and that is our annual Naughty or Nice.
Oh, I thought you were gonna push Liberty Maniacs, like the business end of the podcast for us.
Of course I am. Everybody should shop, and you only have one day left if you're listening when this show comes out to get a Christmas gift. I do not know if Liberty Maniacs has overnight shipping.
They must.
But I do know that if you do order through our link, lionsofliberty.com, you can find it on the right-hand side, a little link to Liberty Maniacs, or you can go to libertymaniacs.com/pages/lions, and you can get 10% off your entire order of all sorts of cool Liberty gear. How about that?
Fantastic.
How's that for taking care of business?
I've heard Liberty Maniacs is working on their drone program. They're going to just jump over Amazon and start delivering right to the house.
Exactly.
I hope so.
Only the FAA is probably going to shoot that one down.
Just do it with dogs.
You want to deliver Liberty gear? I don't think so. You need more licenses for that.
A nice Rand ornament. Just Rand staring at you from the tree. 50 Rand ornaments.
I fully expect you to design those for next year.
I'm going to get us Liberty ornaments. I'm pissed off I didn't think of it this year. I would have sent one to all of our favorite people.
The gifts that could have been.
No well.
All right.
They just have our Photoshops.
So now we are going to get into, is there any other business I should take care of?
No.
You should also go to lionsofliberty.com/health and check out our sponsor, Health Excellence Select, because being healthy is important, and Obamacare
Not
doesn't.
this time of the year.
And except for tonight, but the rest of the year it's good, and Obamacare isn't really doing everything that it's touted to do for many people. So if you're like me and you buy your own insurance, Health Excellence Select is a much more palatable alternative. So check it out. At least you other freelancers, and a lot of you are probably going to be losing your insurance next year and don't even freaking know it yet. So remember that link, lionsofliberty.com/health. Okay, now the business is really taken care of. And now we can get to the other business, which is our Naughty or Nice special, where we go around. We have a list in front of me here of a series of names of people or, groups of people. And we're going to go around the room, so to speak, the proverbial room, and hand out some Naughty or Nice awards. And I mean, it's hard to say. It's so black and white, naughty or nice. So some of these are going to be kind of slam dunk. Some of them are going to be pretty easy. And some of them are going to be a little more nuanced. And I want to start off with one that might actually seem easy on the surface. But, maybe it won't be, because there are pros and cons for each side. So I'm going to start off with the POTUS himself, heading into his final year as president, the one, the only, Mr. Barack Obama. So why don't we start? We'll try to go in the same order. So why don't we start with Odie? Does Barack Obama get a naughty or nice on the Liberty scale?
Oh man, you throw me right to Barack Obama. First one, can't even warm up. I mean, it hasn't all been bad for Obama this year. If you remember, he has done some work towards criminal justice reform. He was actually I believe the first president to visit a federal prison, which is just unbelievable in itself. But so he's done some good things there. He's pardoned some nonviolent felons, which I like as the Felony Friday author. But he's also killed a lot of people. In foreign lands, drone strike that he authorized hit a hospital, killing a lot of innocent people.
Did he specifically authorize that strike, or was it like the military is just doing stuff and they hit one? I don't know.
I'm just making that up. I assume he authorized it. I mean, he's the president of the United States.
I don't think he authorized it.
I don't think that he...
Well, you know what? Look at it this way, though. He's
not
one,
sitting there approving each drone strike.
But this is his war. He's the one that authorized this to happen, so anything at the end of the day is on his watch.
Well, they'll say it's Bush's war.
Everything
and that
rolls
he's
up to him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The fact is, he could pull troops out tomorrow.
In this case, shit rolls uphill, right?
Wasn't that the question that they were asking Ben Carson? Like, are you going to be okay bombing hundreds of kids?
And he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did say it. Well, we could get to him later, right?
I think he said no.
Oh, he's not?
No, you gotta really. This has become a tight list over the years. You gotta really be spectacular.
Only the best of the best.
We can add him on the fly. Maybe we will. But so, what does he get in the onward? Does he get a naughty then?
He's getting a naughty.
For the killings?
He's getting a naughty for the killing of innocent people, even if he didn't directly authorize it.
Okay. Now let's go on to. We'll try to bang through Obama unless someone wants to make him interesting. But Howie, what do you think? Obama, naughty or nice?
Well, there is a nice quota this year, and comparatively to other years, I'm going to give him a nice. Besides what Odie meant, the criminal justice reform, I'm a fan of the Iran deal. Diplomacy is better than war. That's one huge step in that one right direction, and that I'm happy with things he's done on gay rights.
Wait, what did he do on gay rights? Did he do anything?
Well, maybe not.
The Supreme Court did something.
he didn't try to stop.
He approved of it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's been better this year than the previous years of his presidency. I'm gonna. It's Christmas. I'm gonna give it a nice.
Because it's Christmas. All right. I think, and there are certainly arguments for good things he has done, and those are you've named a few of them. So, all right, moving on, Mr. Rico. I feel like I know what's coming here, but I'll just let you go.
Do you? I kind of changed my mind during Howie's statement. I was thinking he was more towards nice, but then I thought more about it. And he did have the Iran deal. I like the Cuba kind of opening up relations with them, but his handling of ISIS, I think, was pretty poor throughout the year. The continued calls for gun control, the Paris climate deal, all big negatives, in addition to what Odie said. So I thought he was less naughty, but I'm still going for the naughty for him this year.
All right, so that's two naughties and a nice.
Actually, I need to change mine.
You can't backtrack now. The president's already open, man. The kids have already planned with the toy.
All right. The gun stuff has been over the top, though. I'll keep the nice.
It really has been.
It has been, but hopefully largely ineffective. And now, Brian, you spent the year analyzing Mr. Rand Paul, and we'll get to him in a second. But I don't know how closely you've been watching the POTUS in the meantime. But what's your final assessment?
I've been keeping an eye on him. Well, the most recent thing that really pissed me off about Obama, and I'm sure he was complicit in this, was the CISA just passed, and that was in the recent spending bill. Do you guys know about that coming through?
Yes, it was just slapped into the omnibus.
Yeah, so that's that. Again, shit rolls uphill in this instance. Usually doesn't, but I pegged that on Obama too. He's an advocate of that. Cybersecurity, blah, 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 blah. It was a big part of his State of the Union, a few months ago in the wake of the cyber attacks. So look, he's going for CISA. He's doing all this gun control shit. Now, again, good job on Iran. Good job.
He didn't write CISA though.
He didn't. But it's going through. He could have vetoed it.
He didn't veto it yet. Did it pass to get signed yet? I don't think it's got signed yet.
Are you sure it's now Paul Ryan's
in the spending bill. It's going through.
Sure, it's not Paul Ryan's fault. I heard he's becoming a Muslim since he's growing a beard.
Well, here's a question: Can we? What if we say like it's a push? What if they're in the middle of Naughty Nights?
No, you are not allowed.
Jewish? Are they just
No,
Jewish in that
you're
case?
not allowed
They're
to get a push.
All right.
Unlike in your waffly Rand Paul's and mine column.
Hey, he only has like 5 pushes. All right, I'm going with naughty. Naughty Obama, less naughty as Rito said, and
Who? Lido? Lido.
Rito, my Cuban
Rico
maid.
and Cheeto, my advisor.
Yeah. So, but I mean, Cuba's great. No, he's still naughty though, even though he made some improvements.
All right, you see, I went in this wanting to be the Howie of the group, wanting to be devil's advocate, and I do like a lot of the things he's done. I do think the Iran deal seems to me like more good than bad. It keeps us from a belligerent stance, at least. And but yeah, his policies about Syria are totally off the wall. They're totally schizophrenic, and he's basically a neocon on Syria. He wants to go in there and oust Assad. And I like a few things he does. Just as Odie mentioned, I love he's bringing attention to criminal justice reform. He is releasing people from prison. He's pardoned 95 people who were convicted of nonviolent crimes.
Which, by the way, he's the president. The governor of New York just pardoned like 140 people.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. So like, why isn't he pardoning way more?
Yeah, you can be pardoning a hell of a lot more people.
It does feel. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say I don't want to really criticize it because it's great that he's doing it, but clearly he has a lot of power to do more. Now, I get it. When you're the president, you want to make sure everyone you're releasing is vetted. You don't want to so you want to make sure they're going to go out and not kill people or anything. But if they're just in there for a drug crime, there's really no reason to think they would, unless they were convicted of some violence, in which case they don't fall under this program. So,
do you think he might give me a blank pardon since I voted nice?
For just going forward, just anything you want to do.
Yeah, just like a get out of jail free card.
It's worth writing a letter about. I would say
I might start a petition on whitehouse.gov.
But despite everything I just said, no, I mean the naughty does outweigh the nice, and he's better than a lot of presidents might be. Maybe a lot of the Republican candidates might be, but he's still out there engaged in a lot of foreign conflicts that I don't think we should be involved in. The rhetoric on terrorism and gun control drives me effing crazy. The implication that some kind of solution for terrorism is to ban guns or restrict the use of guns is frankly insane and completely illogical, and I take the Kurt Russell stance on this to think that that's just stupid to say and makes no freaking sense. Did you guys see Kurt Russell, by the way, flipping out on the reporter when he was just trying to promote Hateful Eight, and this reporter starts pressing him about guns, and he said in a later interview he doesn't really like talking about that stuff. Okay, we just did Obama. I'm adding one on the fly already. Yeah, Kurt Russell. Nice.
Nice.
By the way, I'm giving Obama a naughty in case you guys didn't get that.
Good.
That's 4 naughties, 1 nice for Obama. We can quickly go around the room, and if someone wants to denigrate Kurt Russell with a naughty, they can, but I'm going with a nice for Kurt Russell.
I've got something to say about Kurt Russell. Why are we just hearing about Kurt Russell being a libertarian now? I mean,
because he's not...
He doesn't like to speak out. I'm giving him a naughty. He needed to speak out sooner.
Wow. Odie, look at what happens when people speak out. Look at Rob Schneider speaking out. Or all these.
What? Rob Schneider spoke out?
He's a conservative, but in Hollywood though, you get blacklisted for real, blacklisted. So I'm not surprised.
He's not in movies.
Wait, is that really why?
Really, Rob Schneider.
Why he's not headlining?
I shit you not, Rob Schneider, because he was if nothing else, he was in Adam Sandler's horrible film.
He was actually up for the role of Kylo Ren in the new Star Wars originally. I heard.
He was awesome.
Until I found out he was a conservative.
No, I shit you not, though.
It hasn't affected Vince Vaughn, though. Vince Vaughn's still in a ton of movies.
Well, I don't know. Vince Vaughn's a much more charming individual than Rob Schneider. But Schneider was in all these Adam Sandler movies, and then he spoke up about being conservative, and like he was very open about his views, and he disappeared for like 2 years, even from Sandler's movies. And now he's fine. Like, he wasn't even Grown Ups 2. Who gets cut from Grown Ups 2?
It was his choice. I heard a whole Sandler interview.
Was it? Rob Schneider's turning down movies now?
Apparently.
He's got too much going on.
They didn't meet his financial demands.
I got these big 3 coming up. I just can't make the time.
Your impressions need a lot of work, my friend. I'm not saying mine are great.
I don't know what Rob Schneider's impression would be like.
Then
I like your Alex Jones. I like your Alex Jones. It's pretty good.
Oh, I didn't put him on our list. No, he hasn't done much this year.
He doesn't get on the list.
No. He got on the list once, I think like 2 years ago.
All right. Anyway.
Conspiracy's not on.
Moving on. This is going to take 4 hours.
Why is Liberty working for the New World Order? That's why they left me off the naughty or nice list.
We already need to cut half the list. We're running long. It's like the Oscars. We're already way behind.
All right. So, but yeah, Kurt Russell gets a nice... does anyone want to say, besides Odie, that Kurt Russell is naughty?
Well, he's not even
was that
marrying
serious?
Goldie Hawn. She is.
He's not
nude.
married to her. They've never married.
Well, not married. They're
why he's not here.
California married. They're common law married.
Isn't that just a movie?
No, although they have been in many movies together.
Overboard.
You can do so much. Overboard's great. Love that movie. But he can do so much better. Come on, Kurt. He must have married for love.
All right,
what can I say?
So
Fool.
Odie's
Like an
giving
idiot.
Kurt Russell a bitter naughty for not speaking out.
That's true. I'm sticking with it. Yep.
He actually, in his interview he did at Daily Caller, he was saying, well, I'm not really that outspoken politically. It's not what I like to talk about. But this guy would not leave me alone. So I just had to flip out on him. And now he's talking about how he's a libertarian. So cool stuff. I give him a nice because Snake Plissken's awesome. It's that simple.
Except for Escape from L.A. That was really bad.
Oh, that was terrible.
And his basketball scenes were just atrocious.
Escape from L.A. lives in the realm of movies which include Rocky V, movies that don't exist in my mind.
Yeah.
They just they live in an alternate universe that if some people want to imagine they happened, fine, but they didn't. Just like Home Alone 3.
Home Alone 2.
No,
We
Home
talked
Alone,
about that for a while.
Home Alone 3 doesn't exist. Home Alone 2 is amazing.
Can we talk about little Kevin hugging the woman covered in bird shit at the end?
Kevin
Come on.
McAllister, naughty or nice?
Naughty. These guys should have died 75 times in Home Alone 2. It was grotesque. He's a psychopath.
He is a psychopath.
He's a serial killer. He's
Well,
luring,
I don't think he's ever
luring
killed
people
anyone.
in to murder them. He's a killer.
Did Mark ever make you guys watch the part where Joe Pesci gets shot in the balls with the BB gun over and over?
thousands of times over.
I do love that part.
It really does get funnier when you rewind it and then fast forward it and then slow-mo it and then go back. Trust me. That's what I'm doing tonight when you guys leave here.
Especially when you're sober. That's
I just watched the part where he steps
I wouldn't
on the
recommend
nail,
that,
on
ever.
the tarred nail. It's the only way I can come anymore. It's the only way I can feel anything.
Oh, we've gone off the rails. That did not take long at all.
It's a holiday extravaganza.
I'm just glad you don't have the eggnog here with that,
Oh, I
with
guess
that comment.
Brian's on the naughty list this year.
Yeah, well, we already
I've never
know
been
that.
off the naughty list.
All right, let's move along here, and we're going to move on to a figure that may be somewhat controversial, maybe not. I don't know. Could go either way. He is, of course, the heir to the political liberty throne, so to speak. He is the son of Ron, Senator Rand Paul. And we'll start with Odie once again.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll try to keep it brief since, there's good things, bad things about Rand, but I think my main criticism for Rand, and you talked about this a little bit in the last podcast with We Are Libertarians, his libertarian disease, how he just comes off so condescending, how when he could just say a simple 3 or 4 word answer, he launches into a whole thing about policy and describing things in very little details rather than just saying, well, the FDA, these regulations are terrible because you can't even take a good shower, like Donald Trump would say. He's terrible. He's pretty much abandoned. He's lost the Ron Paul support, lost his dad's support. He doesn't use any of Ron's techniques of his catchphrases like end the Fed or bring the troops home. Not that he has to use them exactly, but he didn't learn anything from his father, how his father gained supporters. So I'm giving him a naughty.
A naughty for Randy Pants. Okay. Let's move on to Howie. Howie, what do you think of old Randy Pants this year?
If anybody gets a nice, it's Rand. I mean, there is good and bad. He has the best positions of anybody running for president, for sure, but he has made a mess of his campaign. And you know what, Rand, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. But if Obama's on the nice list, you're on the nice list.
Yeah.
There
I was
you go.
going to say, if you give
Everybody's getting nice from Howie today.
Obama a nice, it's hard to justify the naughty for Rand. Rico, what's your thoughts on Randall?
I'm grading on a curve, and I think he's better than Obama, obviously. I think he's, like Howie said, the best candidate, but he has been very disappointing to me for a number of reasons. His campaign has been disjointed, to say, put it mildly. He's been neoconish on some issues like Iran. He's supported increases in defense spending, the whole same-sex marriage, one sentence earlier thing he should have adopted. And so I just don't think he had a great year, and his chances at the presidency are pretty much nil. So I'm going to give him a naughty.
Naughty it
Another
up.
naughty for Rand. All right.
Yeah.
Like I said, full of controversy here. Now, if anyone, I'm actually going to save you for last because you're the Rand
All right.
Paul
All right.
expert here. And I am going to... It is a tough one because, look, I mean, he's clearly so much better than everyone running for president in the Democrat and Republican side anyway. There's a lot of other guys out there. We got John McAfee, former guest of the show. We'll get to him in a minute. We got, a lot of libertarian candidates. We have other people I probably don't even know about. Waka Flocka Flame, remember him?
Oh, I love Waka Flocka.
I think he's still running, so there's other candidates out there that might have good positions, but I share all the disappointment and all the same criticism that all you guys have. And my criticisms are more strategic. They're more the way he's carrying himself. But he is the only one out there in the Senate that is trying to stop NSA spying. That he is. You guys are looking more at his presidential campaign specifically, which I understand. I'm just trying to look at him as like a senator too. And I think for what he's doing there, I mean, he's doing everything he possibly can as basically a one-man army trying to stop a lot of things. He's not being successful, but it's through no fault of his own. It's that there's just not enough liberty people in the Senate.
He hasn't even commented that I've seen on CISA since it was included in the.
I have not heard him say anything about CISA. He's coming out against the omnibus as a whole.
Yeah, he didn't mention that when he criticized everyone not reading it and all the crap that's in it.
He didn't mention it by name that I know of, but yeah,
I just skimmed all the articles about it. I didn't actually read them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he just is going out against... I mean, there's so much bad stuff in the omnibus, and that's one bad thing, and maybe he hasn't specifically commented on it yet, but I think overall he is doing a pretty damn good job as a senator. Not a great job as a presidential candidate, and not a great job even really as an advocate for liberty, but it's not enough for me to give him a naughty. So I do think that overall he deserves to be praised for what he's doing in Washington. He's doing more than I am. Maybe, depending on your perspective. But, I do give him a nice with some strong reservations and some notes that we'll be sending him that we've already sent through various columns and podcasts.
Yes.
So I do give him a nice at the end of the day. And that actually gives us a current tie going in.
I get to be the tiebreaker. I'm like the vice president.
Exactly. You are like the vice president of pro tempore here or whatever. And so you are the Rand analyst, the Randalist. You have spent pretty much all year writing a weekly column on this man and have done many podcasts. So if anyone is qualified to give a naughty or nice assessment, it would be Mr. Brian McWilliams.
All right. Well, let me say, if you're going by the Rand pluses and minuses, which you can find at www.lionsofliberty.com/Rand, he's way in the
By the way, we
column.
can drop the www from now on.
That's
Everyone
true.
knows.
Lionsofliberty.com.
And it's not even
/Rand.
needed anymore. You don't even need to.
No, you don't. Yeah. What can I say? I'm old school. You heard my Abbott and Costello references.
There you go.
So... It's like 145 to 25 or 30 or something like that, pluses to minuses. So he's done a good job overall in total.
And
in particular,
5 goddamn pushes.
And 5 pushes. But you look at like some of the big things, the Patriot Act, obviously, he was instrumental in getting that killed, even though the USA Freedom Act was following up, which kind of sucked. His filibuster against drones is huge that he's done in the past. He's done, his stance against the executive actions that the president can take. This is a new bill he just put through to ban executive actions without congressional approval. Great. His insistence that the president should have to go through Congress to go to war. So he's done a lot of good things, to Mark's point. He's also done a lot of bad things. His bill, which failed miserably and should have failed, to ban anybody coming from 34 countries that are quote-unquote, jihadist, was ridiculous. So, while we wait for this refugee thing to work out. That was horrible. The Kim Davis religious freedom thing was horrible. And we do have to take into account, look, if you look at his whole campaign now, he is the single most, maybe... I don't even know, the most possible candidate we could have gotten in the White House in a long time that's a quote-unquote libertarian or is more libertarian-leaning, and he has royally cocked it up. He was leading the field. He's pissed that away through bad tactics.
I believe he likes to say,
speech.
I'm a constitutional conservative, but then sometimes he'll say, but I'm sort of a libertarian Republican, which all gets sort of confusing.
Yeah, and it confuses the whole issues, and he backs off, and he screws around a lot of things. So... You have to look at it all in total, because you know what? He was a senator last year. He'll be a senator next year, because he ain't going to win the presidency at this point. And we can grade him on a different curve. For this year, he is naughty.
Wow.
Naughty.
All right. I like it.
He's blown his campaign so far, and I'm furious about it. He could have done a lot better, and I'm pretty pissed off about it.
So regardless of what you guys think, and by the way, that does tip the scales to a full naughty consensus, not a consensus.
Hashtag naughty pants.
Hashtag naughty pants. Oh, boy.
Jeez. You guys might well. You guys might as well just say like anyone who's a politician is on the naughty list.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what I heard.
We're looking at. Hey, look, Rand was in the Senate just doing Senate things last year, and he would get a nice. But this year he's doing the president thing, and he's done some crappy crap that he needs to get called out for. So we're grading. It's all got to be graded against some sort of standard, man.
Everything is graded on a curve here, basically.
Yeah, he's run such a bad campaign. I mean, it's hard to look past.
That's like an inverse curve.
Something like that.
Like your nipples.
All right, I don't want to talk about graph and mathematics too much here today.
That reminds me of someone in college who had inverted nipples. But.
Wow.
Not me.
We'll link to that in the show notes, guys.
Link to see how his nipples in the show notes. You can visit lionsofliberty.com/what is this, 169?
Yes. All right.
I don't need our lady listeners thinking I have weird nipples. So.
What lady listeners?
Come on, there's at least
my mom. This is a
hears
libertarian
it.
podcast, unless Julia Borowski is listening tonight, where there are none.
She might be. Carrie Wedler might be listening.
I hope so. They're awesome. Keep it up.
Who else?
Half of our listeners are females half the time.
Whoa.
Right?
What does that mean? The lady boys? We don't have a lot of Thai lady boys subscribing? I have no idea what that means, Odie.
Oddly, not the first time we've referenced ladyboys on this show.
No.
No. All right.
Well, that's right, because Rico was picking him up when he was in Thailand.
All right, we're going to move on just because we need an easy one. And this one's going to be really easy, but then we're going to get into the actually the next couple I think might be easy for us. But why don't we start with someone who... If you asked me 3 months ago who was going to be president, I would have named this person. However, I'm not entirely sure now, and we'll get to why in a little bit after that. But this person is the front runner for the Democratic nomination, Miss Hillary Clinton. Odie, take it away.
Ah, man, Hillary Clinton. We just had a nice little discussion, as you guys know, about her little call to cure Alzheimer's with $2 billion, just out of the grace of her own
God,
heart.
if that's all we ever needed, why didn't someone say so earlier? Guys, if we just raise this $2 billion, we're good to go.
Yeah, just print the fucking money. That's all we need to do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, she's the worst. I hate her, and I don't think she'll be president though, which is great. But we're gonna have to put up with her and listen to her for another 6-8 months. So that'll be terrible.
So you do think she'll be the nominee?
Yeah, she will be the nominee. Maybe not, because the more I think about it, I think Bernie's support, I don't want to get off track, I think his support is a little underpolled. But
why don't we do this? If we're good Liberty podcasters and we get through this list and have time, we'll try to do some predictions for next year. How about that?
I like it. Okay.
Well,
I'm going with naughty for Hillary.
Easy naughty. Howie, any objections here? Do you have any positive spin you can put on her?
Are you going to ask me, should Satan be naughty or nice? Yeah, naughty. I mean, this is... I can't believe this is even up for discussion. As Donald Trump would say, she's disgusting. She's a liar. She lies all the time about everything. Naughty.
I would like to point out that was Howie's first naughty. Even Barack Obama got a nice. So
my Christmas cheer does not extend that far.
All right, Rico.
Is there anything anyone can say about her that's good? That's
probably nobody here. Somebody somewhere. Chelsea's got some nice things.
She stands by her man.
She does. That is actually very good.
You can say that.
I'm sure. And Bill is so mad. He's like, God.
He could be held hostage.
He's like, what do I have to do?
How many reasons do I need to give you to divorce me?
I thought for sure she would have left me after I raped that one girl.
Bill's just leaving the door open during sex parties. He's like, please. I hired a private detective to follow myself, Hillary. The pictures are on the counter.
And that's a naughty.
All right, that's a naughty. Brian?
Clearly a naughty.
I don't know why she's on
but
this
not
list,
for any of
actually.
the other reasons you guys said. Just because, you know what? When I'm watching that debate, and I'm spending 2 hours watching the stupid Democratic debate last time, and I got to wait for Hillary Clinton to finish taking a dump. That's a naughty. I had to take a dump before this podcast. I'm here on time.
Oh no! So we are really on a timer. Is what we're saying.
Actually, we waited for you. So
yeah, you were late too.
That's because Mark's girlfriend was talking to me in the kitchen.
No, well, you were also the last one on the call. But then Odie had to leave for a baby situation.
Baby time. I was there. We could have started on
so
time.
Much inside baseball going on here. Yeah. But I think the point you're trying to make is...
She's the worst. She is naughty. She's horrible in every possible way. I despise her.
And you want to know why she's on this list? Because I wanted us to have at least one thing that we all definitely agreed on. I thought it might be, Actually, even Kurt Russell we couldn't agree on because Odie was mad that he wasn't enough of an outspoken libertarian.
We can all agree that whiskey is delicious.
Luckily, we will have at least one one unanimous vote, and that is, of course she's naughty. Are you kidding me? I can't think of one redeeming quality of this woman. Not
I thought you were
one.
going to say there was an anonymous, she's on the good list vote. I was like, who is it? Who called in?
There's one vote I cannot reveal, but it's nice. No, Hillary's naughty. We're done with her. Goodbye, Hillary. Although, sadly, we're nowhere close to done with her in real life. All right, now let's move on. This is probably going to be a consensus, but who knows? It's not a consensus among libertarians, that's for sure. And that is one... what did you refer to as once? Didn't you have a funny name for her once?
Who? Oh, God, I don't
You can
even
see
know.
You're sitting next to the
I'm looking
list.
at I can't remember what the name was. Just
I'll
reveal
Is
it.
it Debbie Wasserman Schultz?
No, but she's terrible too.
Yeah.
All right, it's the marriage lady, Kim Davis, who refused to dish out marriage licenses in Kentucky after the Supreme Court ruled that everyone gets them, basically. So, Odie, what are your thoughts on Kim Davis? I'm actually quite interested in your thoughts on this.
It's not very interesting.
As opposed to usually when I'm not, but
I mean, she was elected to follow to do a job, which she basically, there's supposed to be separation of church and state, and she decided to ignore that. So she's going against the Constitution, going against the Supreme Court in order to exclude certain people just based on their sexual preference. So she's naughty. She was definitely naughty, and hopefully she loses her next election.
all right. That's a naughty for Miss Davis. Howie. Davis good, Davis bad.
Well, I think people should be able to do whatever they want in their personal lives. They should, if you own a business, if you don't want, anyone to come in or work there for XYZ reason, so be it. But the government is different. The government's elected by the people. They represent us all. The government should not be able to discriminate against anyone. I don't think that the government should be involved in marriage, but it is, and it will be for the rest of my life. And as long as that's the case, they can't discriminate against anybody. And the fact that she can't bring her personal stuff into government service. The government treats everyone equally, and she's on the naughty list.
Naughty. All right. Rico, maybe you could add a little legal spin to this comment.
Well,
or not. Whatever.
I can't because I think everyone already said it well. But I was Googling her just to see if there was anything interesting about her that I didn't know. And lo and behold, apparently she was married 4 times.
Oh yeah, she's converted. She's like she used to be a heathen.
She was saved. It doesn't matter what you did before.
But she was also married
free
4 times to 3 different men, meaning someone married her twice. Which,
that is an interesting statistic, actually.
And looking at her, I mean,
let's be nice now.
Do we think she's a closet lesbian?
It's a really big closet.
Well,
so.
let's think about this for a second.
That's not a weight joke, by the way.
No.
That's just she's very deep.
Well,
in the
let's think about this. She's been married 4 times. She's vehemently Christian now. She's against gay marriage, but why? It's like thou protesteth too much. Maybe you just can't accept it, her own sexuality, and that's why she keeps getting married. She's unhappy, and she's lashing out at people that are actually able to accept their sexuality and do something with it.
So nice.
No, she's not nice.
Oh, I thought you love lesbians, maybe. So if she's one, you might think it's cool.
I love all people, as long as it's not Kim Davis or Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
did you say that libertarians were divided on her? And
They
if
are.
So,
Well,
They-
Get out of here.
I don't know how divided, but we got some comments on our podcast when we talked about it.
Oh yeah, people defending her for religious freedom.
Now
and,
look,
that's not.
I disagree with them, obviously, and I'm going to give her a naughty too, but let's just, for 1 second, look at it in another way, because I think there is some kind, and Rico's even, I think, mentioned something along these lines, that the way the Supreme Court made this ruling wasn't necessarily a proper constitutional way, maybe, and if you believe in states' rights, which many libertarians believe in, I don't really believe in that as a principle per se, although I sort of believe in it in terms of our Constitution, that they should at least be respected in a certain sense. that the argument being that if the Supreme Court made this ruling, it wasn't entitled to do so. There's nothing about regulating marriage in the Constitution. 10th Amendment says anything that is not covered by the Constitution goes to the states. Therefore, that marriage should be a state issue, and she did the right thing by standing up for states' rights. Not that that's what she was standing up for, because I never heard her mention it.
This is a whole strong
and
argument.
I'm playing very devil's advocate here. I'm just saying there is that argument that exists out there.
I do sort of recall sending an email a long time ago along those lines.
I'm not saying you made that argument, but just in terms of the Supreme Court part.
Yeah, well, yeah, how the Supreme Court reached their
and we all just
decision
blush you off. We're like, well, we don't care about it.
But I haven't read the decision in a long time, so I kind of forget about it. But
Mark, you're the one that convinced me. I'm no more a states' rights guy. I'm whoever's advocating what's right guy. Instead.
Yeah. That's right. I think I first cracked that one open with Tom Woods when I stumped him on what I always call the Tom Woods stumper question now, because I asked him. I will now link to this in the show notes now that I've discussed it. But I asked him, what would happen if the federal government was nullifying the quote unquote a state's right, where a state was using their quote unquote rights to jail people for victimless crimes, for marijuana possession and that kind of thing, and he wasn't quite sure. And I don't think it's even remotely, a difficult question. It's wrong to do that to people, so we should side with whoever's right on the issue. Although it's complicated in the context of our government structure, I agree. But in terms of what's right or wrong, it's clear when the federal government does one thing, and just as clear when it happens on a state or local level. If right is right and wrong is wrong, then yeah, exactly. Then it is.
By the way, is this going to be a two-parter? Are we doing a...
No, we just need to pound through this.
I didn't know if we're doing a one that's going to air after Christmas.
That's too much work.
Oh, all right.
All right, so sorry, fans out there.
Well, let's boogie through it then.
We, maybe next year, but this year we've had so many of these debate shows. Like, we're pounding these things out. Yeah. Some of us want to breathe.
I saw, I was at the gym before, and I saw, Rubio on the TV, and then I saw, Bernie Sanders, and I actually had a small panic attack. I'm like, is there another debate right now?
You never know, because we're so sucked into the vortex.
There are so many. Can we just push some of the candidates from the GOP and put them in a Democratic debate just to make it interesting?
I wake up in cold sweats sometime thinking I'm supposed to be blogging. I'm like, wait a minute. Bernie Sanders. Okay. All right, let's move on now. Now things are going to get a little interesting, and we're going to start with... How can we not? I don't think we've done a podcast not mentioning this name in a long time. So why don't we but continue with Donald Trump, and we're going to start with Odie.
It's no secret that I've had I think I've said it before on this podcast, that I have a bit of an irrational hatred for Donald Trump. In reality, when you look at the guy, his rhetoric is a lot harsher than a lot of the politicians out there, but for example, Barack Obama, who we talked about, his rhetoric is more peace and anti-war, but he, with the drone strikes, has killed plenty of people. And has Donald Trump really killed anyone? No, I mean, he's just said some insensitive things. With that being said, I got a lot of respect for the guy, the way he's run his campaign. We've talked about his wizard qualities, his way to be a master persuader and manipulate people and completely turn the entire election process upside down. So a lot of respect for that, and he's entertaining as hell. As a whole, I got to say, I think that he has been good for politics, good for discussion, good to get people talking. I know I've had more conversations with people at work than I normally would, because people are a lot of people are just so annoyed by him even being in the race and bringing up different things that he says, and it's an opportunity to kind of test the waters and bring up some more libertarian ideas. So I got to give Donald Trump, as much as I'm surprising myself to say this, I got to give him a nice.
Wow, the man with the admitted irrational hatred for Donald Trump gives him a nice. All right, Howie, I'm interested in your thoughts here on the Donald.
I like seeing him shake things up. I like seeing the RNC freak out. I've been laughing my ass off watching him on TV today, and all the things Rachel Maddow's been saying about him. I don't think he believes half the horrible shit he says, and I mean, I obviously don't believe on all his policies, but I'm giving him a nice. I'm glad the Donald's in the election.
Wow, this is all right. That's two nices. Rico, what's your legal analysis, or just regular analysis?
Okay, well, one, I don't agree with him on much, so I don't. like his bombastic statements for the most part. So I'm going to give him a naughty, but I also would like to ask a question and say, hypothetically speaking, you tell someone that you're a Donald Trump supporter and they're not very familiar with him, just, have heard some
That's
sound
very
bites.
hypothetical.
Yeah.
Are we talking to an alien here?
They're familiar with him, but they don't know all his positions. And they say, well, are you racist for supporting Donald Trump? How do you, doesn't he come across as racist on a lot of things?
I think very much on the surface, but I think if you actually break down, analyze his stuff, I don't agree with him on the things he says, a lot of those things, but I don't think he's racist, personally.
I could tell a quick story of an encounter I had with some Donald Trump supporters, if you want me to.
Do it.
I'll try to be quick. So I walk into the barber shop the other day, and I always shake the owner's hand when I walk in. And I'm walking back, and there's an old guy sitting there getting his hair cut, and he reached out to shake my hand too. So I shake his hand, and he goes, "Now can you promise me you'll vote for Trump?" And I just laugh out loud. He goes, "Oh, you're going to vote for Hillary then?" I said, "No."
Everything's got to be whoever the front runner is versus whoever the front runner is. You're not allowed to make any other choices.
It was a goddamn year until the actual elections.
Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Exactly, but it was interesting. So the barber I sat down with leans into me and goes, "Yeah, that guy's older, so he's probably a racist." I mean, I chuckled. I chuckled, but then the barber goes, "But I do agree with a lot of stuff Donald Trump says, and he's a businessman. That's what we need." So this guy pretty much, I don't know how he kind of made himself. He brought out the race thing and said, "That's not me," and then pivoted to other things to talk about. Now I tried to get him by bringing up Trump supported universal health care and different things, and somehow the guy was saying that one of his friends was dying of cancer, so he supported Obamacare. Anyway, it was a crazy conversation, but there are a lot of Trump supporters out there, and I meet more every day.
Has Donald Trump even said something racist, honestly racist? He said, "I think we should keep Muslims out of the country for a while," and that's not about race.
Well, he did say that a lot of he said a lot of Mexicans who are illegal immigrants were raping everybody.
Is that racist? There are people that
there are.
It might not be racist,
Hold on,
but he's
stop for a
saying
second.
illegal immigrants. I don't know. I mean,
there are
racist.
illegal immigrants do commit
Put
these
the
crimes.
brakes. Yeah, that does happen. Put the brakes on for a second. Saying that some people there is a problem with people coming from Mexico and creating crime is true. That's something that occurs. We can argue about the level to which it's occurring,
And they're pooping in Brian Engelman's streets.
and we can even say he's wrong about it. But it's not racist to say that.
The way he framed it, you're kind of minimizing the words
He loves
used.
Mexicans. He says that.
I listen to the words. I think it's wrong. I don't think it's racist.
I heard him say, he said, "I love Mexicans. Don't get me wrong. I hire a lot of them. I love the Mexicans."
And you know why, you ignorant fools? Because Mexican's not a race. So that's why it's not racist.
Okay.
Anyway, so Mark gives him a what?
No, we didn't get to me yet.
Oh, well, Jesus
You're
Christ.
next.
All right, well, I'm next. Let me say, okay, so here's my take on the Donald. I agree that I don't think he's actually racist. My problem with Donald is that I don't necessarily agree with a lot of his points. Now, when he first came out, I was like, okay, interesting. I like him. He's coming out. He's saying what he feels, but then he got into his more specific points and getting into this whole Muslim issues, getting into his use of healthcare, getting into how he supports crony capitalism. Essentially, he supports eminent domain. And I said, you know what? Okay, I actually am realizing I as much as I appreciate him shaking it up, I really dislike him. And more than anything, my biggest problem with the Donald is that he's pushing America back towards a time where it's getting back into this weird kind of nativism, this weird kind of, being afraid of other cultures, being afraid of other peoples as a whole, which is not good in any way and for anything. I don't care what it's based on. You can't just blanket make people afraid or pissed off or say, oh, screw that entire group of people and get a nice. He's naughty. What he's doing is wrong, and it's fucked up.
Check your facts, Brian. Check your facts.
Check your facts.
Check your facts.
I wouldn't kill.
Man.
I've never killed Brian McWilliams, and I wouldn't. He's a very nice guy, but he's an asshole.
So now I am
Go ahead and check the stats at www. You're disgusting.
.com.
Brian McWilliams talking about taking a double for the podcast is disgusting.
So, all right. So now I found myself in the untenable position of being the tiebreaker on Donald Trump. And this is a tough one because, look, if you break down his positions, I'm not sure how different than the other Republicans he is, but that's why I also find the over-the-top criticism of Donald Trump, not from you guys, but from just the populace in general, to be just that, over the top. And I understand why. It's because of these bombastic statements he makes, and we've talked about this many times, how he is a wizard, how he makes huge bombastic statements, then he kind of ticks back on it, so he seems like a more sane version of himself. But if you actually break down the things he's saying and talking about, I don't think he's worse than the other Republicans. Besides Rand Paul, I think he's probably the least bad of the other Republicans, at the very least. He doesn't want to be involved in the Middle East. I mean, he talks about bombing ISIS, taking the oil. I guess that's being involved, but he's not interested in regime. But at least ISIS is a real threat. I mean, we can argue the depth of that threat, but they are a real organization that exists that kills people, and they're bad. So, he doesn't want to have regime change. He doesn't want to go ousting Assad. He doesn't want to start World War III with Russia, which is good, which every other candidate is pretty much totally fine with. And all things considered, the fact that the RNC is in fits over this guy and is freaking out, oh boy, I love it. I love that. And I think he's gonna win. I don't know if he's gonna win the presidency, but I think I'm 85% sure he's the next president right now.
I don't know if you saw that chart I sent out the other day, but he has given the second least amount of hawkish statements. Like, besides Rand Paul, he has said less hawkish things than all the other Republican candidates.
Wow, that's interesting. And look, and there are lots of things not to like about him. He is a crony, and he's admitted he's fine with what's it goddamn called? I'm losing my train of thought thanks to the bullet. But when the government takes your land, doesn't give you and gives you whatever they want. Eminent domain. Thank you very much. Yes, hi, I'm the host here. What's going on? Touted libertarian expert. Anyway. So he's not necessarily good, but and you gotta kind of like the fact that he is a billionaire and that he is not taking like money from anybody. He's not. I believe him when he says he's not gonna be beholden to anybody, because he doesn't have to be. The guy can do whatever the hell he wants. So I'm not a fan of him. I'm not gonna vote for him. I'm not gonna support him. But I can't fully give him a naughty, because I really think that what he's doing to politics in some ways is positive, and I think what he's doing to the RNC is positive. And I think that his presence overall is a good thing. I give him a nice, but it's a difficult decision.
Well, whatever. What's that little weenie that
Rico's
ran
so
before?
Right now.
I know. I can't. I love it. It's making me so happy. What's the guy? Ross Perot. He's the Ross Perot. So whatever.
Now, if it turns out that the conspiracy theory is true and he's just doing this to destroy the Republicans and let Hillary waltz in, that nice turns into the biggest naughty of all time.
You know what? I'd give him a nice then, because wow, good job, way to go on over on us.
Yeah, that's
buddy. Good job.
Then we just need somebody to destroy the Democrats.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do it step by step. Okay, go, Rico.
Well, I was just gonna say, how many amendments?
Moving on.
Oh, you son of a.
No, yeah, good.
How many amendments or pieces of the Constitution does he have to be against to get a naughty? Like, the First Amendment, free speech.
That old thing.
Whatever.
By the way, I have not seen him actually say anything. I mean, I actually think that First Amendment thing is way overblown, even by Rand Paul, because I think.
Hold on, let Rico finish.
I will.
Let him finish.
Fine.
Okay, no, go for it.
No, I think he is talking like a third grader, and that's what and on purpose, because he's talking to a population that doesn't think too analytically, and he's basically just saying, I want to stop ISIS from recruiting on the internet, and he wants to target that specifically. Look, there's speech issues in theory with, like, if you talk about blocking the internet, but he doesn't really mean shutting down the internet from people. But let's say I'm on the internet, I am starting a gang that people know is out there murdering people. If you can find me, like, on Facebook actually getting people to commit that crime, that's wrong, and you can take action to stop that. And I think that's all he's really trying to say in his very simplified way of saying things. So I think I'm gradually becoming a Trump supporter on this podcast.
I mean,
that's not what I mean, though.
Email. He doesn't understand exactly how it works.
Yeah, he doesn't understand how a lot of things work. But I don't think he is trying to halt free speech in any way.
I would say
he understands how making money works.
Yeah, he does.
I would say he's very questionable on the First Amendment. He's outright against the 14th Amendment. The whole eminent domain, they never did eminent domain for private use, and then the Supreme Court completely changed that around like 10 years ago, and he's all for that. Mm-hmm. I don't think he has any principles. So what are we saying here? We like the guy because he'll just say anything?
You're fine. I mean, do any of the other Republicans have principles?
That's what I'm saying.
Rand
Why
Paul
is he so much worse? Does he? He has some.
I think Rand Paul does.
Why did you give him a naughty, you son of a bitch?
Because he screwed his campaign up. That's why.
I think. I mean, I don't think Rand Paul has delivered his principles consistently.
Hey, Lindsey Graham has principles. They just suck.
Yeah,
Having principles is
principled.
That's why he's dropped out of the race.
ISIL.
As we've said many times, we have to grade all these guys on a scale, and on the Trump scale, on the curve, I think he's nice.
All right,
I'm also
let's move on.
I'm also comparing it to the bombastic rhetoric against him all around in the political realm. I think that the criticisms of him are overblown by a lot of people. I don't think he's not someone I want to see as president, but if I know that in reality it's going to be like either Donald Trump or Ted Cruz or Hillary, sign me up for Trump. Boom. I'll take the silence as a concession. All right, we're going to fit a couple more in because we've really gone on as we tend to do here. Let's just stick with the presidential candidates right now because there's 3 interesting ones I'd like to discuss before we sign off here. And first, of course, we're going to have to talk about Mr. Bernie Sanders. So, Odie, what are your thoughts on Bernie Sanders?
I think Bernie Sanders has, as you guys talked about with after the last Democratic GOP debate reaction show with Robin Kroner, that Bernie Sanders has stolen a lot of Ron Paul's youth support. I think it was either him or maybe one of the We Are Libertarians said that like one of Ron Paul's like state directors is now on the Bernie Sanders campaign. But so Bernie Sanders is doing some good things, talking about crony capitalism, calling out the unnecessary wars or unconstitutional wars, just immoral wars, really. But his solutions, his economic solutions are insane. He's a full-blown socialist. He's obviously would be way better than Hillary Clinton as president. Hillary Clinton would probably be about the worst thing as president. So because he is facing off against Hillary Clinton for this in the primary, and he's doing a pretty stand-up job and attacking her a little bit on some different issues, I will give him a nice.
A nice. Okay. I'll wait till I get to me to counter you.
What about Martin O'Malley?
He is not even. He didn't even make the list.
Who?
O'Malley!
Exactly.
Oh, you mentioned my name. I get to respond.
He actually. Oh my God! I'm getting a Skype call.
And he heard it.
It's Martin O'Malley.
He's like Satan. He's like, you rang.
Yeah.
Would you like to make an O'Malleyan deal?
Well,
It's like
waiting.
Beetlejuice, O'Malley. Oh, he's here.
He's here again.
Oh, I need to Photoshop him in a Beetlejuice outfit ASAP.
Get on it. You got 2 days till this airs.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it, folks. I'm doing it for the fans of this show.
Howie, Bernie Sanders, go. I know you like that he had a lot of hot chicks in his office when you were a page in Congress.
He's got a nice. I mean, we're great on a curve here, so I'm going to let some of the socialist nonsense slide. But hey, doesn't want to go to war with people. Isn't that enough? I can't think.
That's a good one.
The Blantons has got to me.
Not too bad on the war on drugs.
Not too bad in the war on drugs. You're right. Yeah.
Against NSA spying.
Don't worry. Somebody else will cover his other points,
Bernie
Howie.
Sanders, please link to the last podcast. I get all into this.
All right,
Okay.
fine. Nice
All right.
for Howie.
For Howie's thoughts, go back to our Democratic debate reaction show where he was a little more coherent. And
Nonetheless, nice.
let's move on. So that's one each. Rico, Bernie, go.
I'm going to say nice. I don't agree with him on anything economically. I think he's an idiot and doesn't know what he's talking about. And I think that's well proven. But I do appreciate that he doesn't want to bomb everyone. He's pretty good on the Second Amendment rights, even though he's kind of getting dragged more to the middle. But the biggest thing with him is you know where he stands. And he's not just going to say anything to be elected. He has principles. And like it or don't, you know where he stands. I appreciate that, so I'm going to say nice.
All right, that's 2 nices for the Democratic Socialists. So Brian,
Feel the burn.
I'll support Rico there. You know, he is in a way, he's not quite as principled as Ron Paul, but he is in a way the Democratic Ron Paul. He pretty much says what he means, which is great. And I support anybody, for a nutty or nice that is, that Larry David can do a great impression of. Because I love Larry David and I love impressions. But I also want to mention, let's give Bernie a huge kudos, too, for the fact that he wants to completely remove marijuana from the banned substance list for the federal government. So that's huge as well. Not only does he not want to go to war, wants to take marijuana off that, which you do like leaps and bounds for justice reform and getting people out of jail. So nice for Bernie.
All right, and I think it would be hard for me to justify my Trump nice with a Bernie naughty, so I won't. I will give him a nice, but I have some issues with Bernie. Obviously, we all have issues with Bernie with his general policies, but even on some other things, like even in the beginning of the campaign, I mean, I wrote an article on Bernie and about how he's not so bad on guns, and he's pretty good actually on the Second Amendment, at least compared to most Democrats. And now he's, as we talked about in the last podcast with Robert Kerner and Howie and I talked about this, he's been kind of scaling back on that stuff. And you say he says what he thinks, and I don't think he totally does. He kind of actually seems to hedge a little bit. And he's
of late.
He's been walking backwards on the Second Amendment. He even says, well, I might be in favor of some wars in the right circumstance.
But he's always done that.
Yeah, he's always done that.
Which is not great, but I do agree. But he has been pretty outspoken. Like, he talked a lot about regime change being a horrible thing, which is great. Him and Martin O'Malley. That's two. He's going to appear in our studio in one more mention.
Don't say it again.
Are you saying it in front of a mirror?
I feel like we hear somebody guzzling
in front of a computer
booze.
monitor. Is that close enough?
Oh, it's close enough. It's gone. It's gone black now. So
but at the end of the day, for the reasons you guys all stated, he is leaps and bounds better than any other Democratic candidate. Just like I think Trump is better than most Republicans not named Rand, and I give him a nice for that reason. So Bernie, the only Odie gave you a naughty, I believe here, but you got an overall nice.
I gave Bernie a nice.
Oh, did you? All right, then my scorekeeping is
Mark, you're drunk from your one sip of bullet.
That's true. Okay,
it's a unanimous nice for Bernie.
Wow, a unanimous nice.
Who would have thought it going in?
Bernie, Hillary Clinton, Kim Davis. What do they have in common? They're the three people to get unanimous votes from us, but only one unanimous nice from Bernie Sanders. So that's interesting. Even Kurt Russell couldn't get the.
Kurt Russell, that son of a bitch.
We're nearing the end, guys. For our listeners, don't worry, hang tight. We're getting close.
I've got one more real one, and then
do they want it to end? I wonder. I don't.
I never want it.
It's like when you're watching a good movie, you just like I was watching Star Wars. I didn't want it to end. I said never end Star Wars, please.
Yeah.
I could do a 2-hour podcast on Star Wars. We're not going to do it right now because it's
Maybe
too early.
Maybe we should later on.
Spoiler alert!
We can't spoil
Everyone
anything.
dies. Just
Spoiler: Leah's
think in
voice is 75
2016
octaves deeper now than the original one. She must have been smoking and sucking dick. I don't know what's going on, but she's so deep voice now.
All right,
sounds like Kathleen Turner.
We are definitely putting the explicit label on now, guys. So there's
Sucking dick.
She's like, I've missed you. I've missed seeing everybody.
God, why are you?
Use the force. Good luck.
Why do I invite you into my home to make podcasts?
You had the
Seriously.
worst impression.
All right, yeah, really.
That's what it sounded
the
like.
impression's gotta go.
Stick to the puns,
I'm
Brian.
telling you that it's a friend.
you're my only hope.
Stick to the puns.
She sounds like Harvey Firestein.
Who?
There's another reference to the old folks.
All right. Speaking of Sith Lords, the last guy I want to discuss right now is a guy I actually put on the list at the last minute because it really occurred to me listening, again, when I was talking to Robin Kerner on the last podcast, the Democratic Debate Reaction Show. He was talking about Ted Cruz and how he's hearing a lot of libertarians talk about Ted Cruz. And a lot of people seem to be flocking to him in many ways as Rand Paul's campaign kind of trails off. That seems to be the guy courting the liberty vote, and in some ways, he seems to be the guy getting a lot of it. So, what are your guys' thoughts on Ted Cruz? Johnny Odermatt. Has anyone ever called you Johnny till now?
Yeah, he used to call me Johnny O back in the day.
Back when I used to plant apple seeds in the farm, I used to tour the country planting them apple seeds.
Is that what I sound like?
Yeah,
That was actually
most
your
of
best-
the time.
that was actually your
That
best
like
impression
my
yet.
most accurate impression.
It was closer than the others.
Teddy Cruz.
Sounded like Tony
awesome on the
Hinchcliffe.
Second Amendment. Maybe the best on the Second Amendment other than Rand or the same as Rand of these Republican candidates. So that's great. I like that. He's kind of wishy-washy. Got the booze getting to me a little bit here. On the NSA and privacy, surveillance, going back and forth. He was against the Patriot Act and he was for the whatever the heck the other
the
one's called. I
USA
can't
Freedom
remember.
Act, even worse.
What was it called? The
USA
Freedom Act.
USA Freedom Act, yeah, and that's even worse than the Patriot Act. But he's saying that it's better and took away some of that stuff when it didn't actually do that. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't really agree that Trump is better than Cruz. I kind of look at them sort of on the same footing as if one of them's elected. I think Cruz's rhetoric comes off and his foreign policy is probably a lot worse than he would actually be. I don't think he's going to, carpet bomb the Middle East until the sand glows. I think he's just trying to out neocon Chris Christie and Marco Rubio and Hillary Clinton. So I mean, I got to give him a naughty because he is confusing a lot of maybe not confusing, but he's getting a lot of these libertarians off course that apparently are supporting him, because he is nowhere close to being a libertarian in my mind. So I got to give him a naughty for that.
All right, that's one naughty. Howie, Ted Cruz.
This is actually the toughest one for me. But the fact that, maybe if he wasn't in the race, Rand would be doing a lot better. And plus, just he's wrong where it counts. He's wrong on foreign policy. He's wrong on the drug war. Like, big, important things. I think I'm going to have to go with naughty.
Naughty. All right.
But also, I need to... I just saw some breaking news. That thing where Hillary Clinton said that ISIS was using Trump and videos for propaganda is not true. Apparently, ISIS has been using propaganda with Bill Clinton in it, showing his image and calling him the fornicator from like...
that is funny.
So Bill Clinton is in ISIS propaganda. Donald Trump isn't. Sorry, just a news flash I needed to throw out there.
No, that's important news. I mean, it won't be news by the time this airs.
By the way, did you guys hear this? A real quick aside, also breaking news that ISIS is once again burning marijuana fields, which is ironic because there's a story.
That's it. I'm going over there now.
No, it's
I'm
funny.
getting out of my chair. I'm going to the Middle East. Syria, I'm coming.
There's
listen,
marijuana fields in Syria.
Yeah. But here's the crazy thing: is they're all doing speed. Every one of them, they're doing speed. This is like a common thing in ISIS. They give them pills. They're doing speed all the time. So look, all it boils down to is they like uppers more than downers.
So they're anti-speed, anti-marijuana, pro-speed.
Pro-speed.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
They're just like Wall Street.
We're gonna give a group naughty to ISIS, right?
yeah, group naughty.
I intentionally left them off the list because I thought it would be too easy. Okay, moving on. Let's stay on topic on Ted Cruz here. I don't think Ted Cruz does much meth. Much. Rico, Ted Cruz.
He's got a big nose. He could
He
possibly
probably fit a lot up there.
Yes.
I hear you don't need much meth though to be effective.
I just feel like he's the next neocon. So I don't really want to see him do well in the election. I don't know who I'd want to see do well in his place other than Rand, but I don't appreciate Ted Cruz. I don't looking at his face on during debates.
Donald Trump over here. Got a terrible face.
So for those reasons and others, I will say naughty.
Mm-hmm. I will say that, look, Ted Cruz is good on the things that you should be good at. You should be good on as normally. You should be able to protect yourself. Second Amendment. You shouldn't want people to spy on you if he's not even that good on that shit.
He's awful on it.
He's awful on it. So it's like he's not good on that.
I'd actually rather have Lindsey Graham, who just says like, yeah, we should spy on all of you, than a guy who says we shouldn't, but then passes the USA Freedom Act.
Right, exactly. So no, Ted Cruz is naughty.
So I guess you guys know where I'm going with this. After that.
Also, don't marry Goldman Sachs employees.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say don't
Didn't
do
our
that
buddy?
ever. I don't know.
Oh, anyway,
Some of them might be hot. Okay, and yeah.
All right. I take it back.
Ted Cruz scares me actually the most of any candidate, I think.
He's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Because of that aspect. Because I really feel that maybe he's a great guy. I don't know Ted Cruz. It's just a feeling I get. So there's no facts based on this as nothing we say in this episode. No, there's been a fact or two, I think. But I get the feeling that he's a snake. I get the feeling he panders to libertarians when he feels like that's the right thing to do. Panders to neocon. He's basically doing what Rand Paul sort of tried to do, but way more effectively because he's like a freaking champion debater and a renowned prosecutor, and he really knows how to say stuff to manipulate people and get people to think certain things. And I think that's why he's rising in the polls, because he's actually doing the Rand strategy effectively. I'm going to sort of tip my toe in neocon waters. I'm going to sort of be libertarian. I'm going to actually be neither, but I'm going to hopefully get in.
He's still going to double down on the fear-mongering that gets Americans all
Ted
reverse
doubles down on.
bonered.
Ted really goes full neocon a lot of times.
Oh, totally.
Too. Plus, he's very much in favor of the war on drugs, and that's a deal breaker for me. So you're naughty, Ted, and I if you give me Donald Trump versus Ted Cruz and force me to choose, I'm definitely choosing Donald Trump.
You know who does seem like a guy, though? Good guy, even though I don't like his politics? Jeb Bush.
He seems nice.
He seems like a good... he's funny, man. Jeb Bush gets some funny comments in debates.
Right? No way.
He does. Howie.
Bring George Bush back.
No, tell me. George Bush was a moron.
He's
Jeb
fine.
Bush
He's
is
fine.
Jeb Bush is fun. Jeb Bush gets some funny comments in. I'm like, Jeb's the guy I want to drink with, and I want to yell Jeb! Exclamation
I
point all
want
the
to drink
time.
with George Bush.
Yeah.
No, I definitely
I
want
want
to
to drink with George Bush.
Well, no, I want to do
if I-
cocaine with George Bush. I
If
want to
I
drink
was
with Jeb.
drinking with Jeb, I'd be like, "Oh, your brother."
No
Smoke
comment.
weed with Barbara. Oh man, if there's, I can't think of a better way to end the show than going around and talking about what
Weed
drugs we
with
want to do with who.
Do you think Ben Carson smokes weed?
I think Ben Carson's constantly on Quaaludes.
If Ben Carson smoked weed, he would
They don't
grind
make
to a
him-
total halt. It would just stop. Everything would end.
He's on. I think he's on cat tranquilizers. He's snorting ketamine before every
Puff,
debate.
puff.
He's just like politics.
All right. I think that's all we're gonna go through, guys. If anyone have any shout outs they want to make, some naughty or nice, anyone that I missed that we gotta
real
just
quick,
say
who's got 'em?
say a shout out for anybody. I want to give a
South
quick
Park.
South Park has been awesome. This year.
Agreed. Nice. They have been awesome all
Destroying
season.
the PC crowd and just
Destroying them.
destroying all these people that are just protesting about their trigger warnings and
Oh
all
my
this
god!
jazz.
The safe space was amazing.
South Park has gone full bore.
These idiot college kids who are protesting because they're like at Yale. They're like, their teacher was like, "Hey, take care of yourselves. It's not our job." They're like, "You gotta go. It's your job."
Yeah, it's
Thank
really
God
ridiculous.
for South Park, man.
I also would like to give a nice to my past guests and another presidential candidate who, after we've broken all these guys down, maybe he's someone people should actually look at, and that is John McAfee.
McAfee!
Such a good interview.
Golf clap.
So, I mean, you can say what you want about him, and maybe, I don't know, there's a lot of accusations about things he's done in the past. I don't know what's true and what's not. I just know that when I spoke with him, he came across as an extremely thoughtful and genuine guy, and you know what? I probably trust him more than just about anyone else we've talked about today.
Says what he means. That guy.
Yeah.
Does he actually have a campaign though? Like, is he going to be on the ballot anywhere? Or
He claims that he's very confident he'll be president.
Well,
so
he could probably hack into enough systems to get on the ballot everywhere.
There you go. Yeah, maybe he'll just hack into Diebold.
all the Diebold machines run McAfee security
Clean
software.
sweep. John McAfee next year. Can't wait.
I want to
take
give
our way by
a
storm.
shout out. I mentioned the protests. I want to give a positive shout out to the Princeton students who made the whole campaign against moronic college students that were protesting the PC shit. They were an anti-PC movement that said, "Take care of your damn
You mean
selves, stop being bitches."
anti-PC.
Yeah, they were anti-PC. So the regular people are pro-PC,
okay.
blow like
Yeah.
protect us. You got to protect us from everything. These guys were like, no, we're basically adults now. Grow up, stop being bitches.
Anybody else who needs to mention a shout out?
I just like to put a quick addition to the naughty list. Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly. Yeah, I agree with that. Naughty for Chip Kelly.
That's all.
I'm gonna give Chip
And
Kelly.
also for the Cleveland Browns, naughty.
I'm gonna give Chip Kelly a nice
come
because it
on.
gives me pleasure to see Eagles fans upset.
We beat
by
you, and Mark
antics.
owes me $20
Yeah,
because
that's
of that.
another reason.
And you're going
Oh,
to owe
wait.
me $20 at the end of the season.
That's
most
why
likely.
I should give him a naughty then. Well, whatever. I don't care. We're not talking about football anymore. Anybody else? You get
Odie,
one
you got
last
anybody?
chance.
Vladimir Putin?
No, not for discussion. If you want to give
Is that a
someone
naughty or nice?
I'm going to give him a shout out for a naughty. For a naughty.
Naughty, I'm
He's
giving him a
Putin.
nice. I'm giving him a
And he-
nice for fighting ISIS.
Did he or did he not kill
Shut up.
journalists? Can somebody please get to the bottom of that? Does anybody
I'm
know?
gonna give
Look, he
him a
let
push.
Pussy Riot live, and they were a really good-looking female band that was saying horrible things about him. So how bad could he be?
Oh, I like
He
that.
did jail them for a while, though.
All right, folks. Well, I think we've recapped
Another
the year.
successful edition.
I think so. And we do have. I've got another podcast coming on Monday, so tune in for that. Another interview. A good guy, Jeffrey Singer, a doctor, a Cato adjunct scholar, and we're going to talk about all the roots of the problems in the medical industry. That doesn't sound nearly as exciting as everything we just talked about, but trust me, it is. All right, guys. Until next time. Until next year. Why don't you guys all join me in sending everybody a little message? Because there's one thing we want everybody at home to do. It is, of course, to live long
And live free. Now I want everybody to join me in a song. Ready? Deck the halls with bows, Obama. Fa la 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 la. Rand Paul's gonna slap your mama. Fa la 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 la. Trump is going to ban the Muslims. Fa la 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 la. The GOP feels still a dozen. Fa la 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 la. Fa la 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 la.
son, daughter,